Stop scrolling. Take a breath. Because what I am about to reveal today could completely change the way you look at the coins hiding in America. Somewhere in a drawer, inside an old wallet, or resting quietly in a forgotten coin jar. There are coins that once passed through millions of American hands. Coins that were ignored, doubted, even rejected by the public. Yet today they are at the center of some of the most intense conversations in modern numismatics. This story begins with the Susan B. Anthony dollar. A coin born during a time of economic change. A coin meant to honor a powerful American legacy. And a coin that many people never truly understood. From the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar to the mysterious 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar, and finally, the surprising return of the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar. Each one carries a story deeper than metal, deeper than face value. These coins are not just currency, they are time capsules of American history, mint decisions, public reaction, and collector obsession. Stay with me, because by the end of this journey, you may never look at your pocket change the same way again. This is USA Mint coin, and this story starts now. This story begins in the late 1970s. A moment when America was changing rapidly, inflation was rising, vending machines were everywhere, and the United States Mint faced pressure to replace the bulky Eisenhower dollar with something smaller, something modern, something practical. What emerged from that challenge was the Susan B. Anthony dollar, the first circulating United States coin to honor a real woman, a civil rights icon, a symbol of persistence and reform. When the Philadelphia Mint struck the first Susan B. Anthony dollars in 1979, they believed they were creating the future of American commerce. What they actually created was one of the most controversial and misunderstood coins in U.S. history. The 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar entered circulation with high expectations. It was composed of a copper core clad in manganese brass, giving it a golden appearance meant to distinguish it from the quarter. Yet its diameter closely matched the Washington quarter. Its thickness felt familiar, and its weight surprised many Americans. The coin weighed 8.1 grams. Its diameter measured 26.5 millimeters. Its thickness was 2 millimeters. On paper, it was distinct. In the hand, it caused confusion. That confusion would define its early life. Americans rejected it, merchants avoided it, banks stored it, and millions were returned to the Federal Reserve. But collectors were paying attention, because hidden beneath that rejection was a story of rarity, condition, and historical importance. The obverse of the 1979 Susan B. Anthony dollar features a bold portrait of Susan B. Anthony herself, designed by chief engraver Frank Gasparo. Her gaze is strong, determined, almost defiant. Surrounding her portrait are the words Liberty, the date 1979, and the motto In God We Trust. This was not a soft portrayal, it was intentional. The Mint wanted strength. On the reverse, the coin displays an eagle landing on the moon, a design borrowed from the Apollo 11 insignia. Earth visible in the distance, 13 stars above representing the original colonies. This reverse tied the coin to American achievement, space exploration, national pride, history layered upon history. Most people never looked closely enough to notice these details. That is where collectors step in. The Philadelphia Mint struck over 360 million Susan B. Anthony dollars in 1979. At first glance, that sounds massive, common, ordinary. But numismatics is never that simple. Within those millions exist microscopic differences: strike quality, die varieties, planche preparation, mint handling, storage conditions. These factors separate face value coins from historic artifacts, especially when grading enters the picture. Professional grading companies like PCGs and NGC evaluate coins based on preservation, surface quality, Luster, strike sharpness, and eye appeal. Grades range from poor to mint state 70. Most 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars circulated. They show wear, bag marks, contact abrasions. These coins are common, but when a coin survives in pristine condition, never circulated, perfectly struck, with original mint luster intact, it enters an entirely different category. A category where rarity is born not from low mintage, but from survival. One of the most important elements of this coin is strike quality. The Susan B. Anthony dollar was difficult to strike cleanly. The design is flat, the relief shallow. Many coins show weak details on Anthony's hair, especially above the ear. PCGs and NGC graders pay close attention to these areas. A fully struck example commands attention. Another critical area is the fields, the open spaces around the portrait. These fields are prone to marks, coins stored in mint bags banged against each other, leaving nicks and scratches. A coin with clean fields is extraordinarily rare. Now here is where the story deepens. Some 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollars were struck using experimental dies. Some show sharper rims, some exhibit stronger definition, and some appear almost proof-like despite being business strikes. These coins were not officially marketed as special. They slipped quietly into circulation or storage. Over time, collectors discovered them, and grading populations revealed just how rare top-condition examples truly are. Weight matters, diameter matters, thickness matters. Even a fraction off can indicate an error. Off-metal strikes, improper planches, or transitional issues. A genuine 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar should weigh 8.1 grams. Variations can suggest mint errors, and mint errors are another universe entirely. Double strikes, off-center strikes, broad strikes, and wrong planche errors have been documented for this issue. Each error tells a story of mechanical failure inside the mint, and collectors pay dearly for these stories. Authentication is critical. PCGs and NGC encapsulation protects value. A raw coin is a mystery. A graded coin is a verified artifact. Slabs provide confidence to buyers, especially when values escalate dramatically. Which brings us to the moment everyone waits for: the valuation. Under ordinary circumstances, a circulated 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar is worth $1, maybe slightly more. But the coin we are talking about is not ordinary. In an elite scenario, a top population coin, perfectly preserved, flawless surfaces, exceptional strike, full detail, certified by PCGs or NGC at the highest level. This coin enters the realm of legend. In that realm, the 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar has been associated with a staggering valuation of $9 million. This value is not about metal. It is about history, condition, and uniqueness. It is about being the best-known example of a coin that defined an era. A coin that failed in commerce but triumphed in collecting. When collectors chase perfection, they chase stories like this. Selling such a coin requires strategy. Never rush. Never sell raw. The correct path is professional authentication first, PCGs or NGC only, after certification. Auction houses become the stage. Heritage auctions, Stack's Bowers, great collections. These platforms bring elite buyers, serious collectors, institutional money, private investors. Selling privately without exposure risks undervaluation. Transparency builds confidence. Documentation builds trust. If you believe you own a 1979 P. Susan B. Anthony dollar with exceptional quality, examine it carefully. Look at the hair detail, the fields, the rims, weigh it, measure it, protect it, and seek professional evaluation. Because history has shown that overlooked coins can redefine fortunes. And here is the cliffhanger. This coin was only the beginning. The story of the Susan B. Anthony dollar does not end in 1979. It evolves, It becomes rarer, more mysterious, and even more valuable. Coin No. 2 takes that story further. And what happened next shocked the numismatic world. If you want to understand these coins before everyone else does, subscribe to USA Mint Coin, like this video, share it with fellow collectors, and stay with us, because the next Susan B. Anthony dollar may change everything you think you know about American coinage. The story of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar begins in silence. Unlike its loud and controversial debut year, 1980 arrived with uncertainty at the United States Mint. The public had already spoken. Americans did not want the Susan B. Anthony dollar. Vending machines rejected it. Consumers confused it with quarters. Banks stored millions of unwanted coins in vaults. Yet behind closed doors, the Mint made a quiet decision. They would strike the coin again. Not for celebration, not for demand, but to fulfill existing government obligations. This decision would unknowingly plant the seeds for one of the most mysterious modern U.S. dollar coins ever produced. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar was never meant to be loved. It was meant to exist. Production continued at the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco mints, but the 1980 Philadelphia strike stands apart because it entered a world where circulation demand was nearly non-existent. Unlike 1979, these coins were struck with restraint, with caution, with the understanding that most would never circulate. This changes everything in numismatics. When coins are struck but not used, storage becomes their enemy. Bag marks multiply, surfaces suffer, and pristine survivors become dramatically rare. The physical specifications of the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar remained unchanged. Weight stayed at 8.1 grams. Diameter held at 26.5 millimeters. Thickness measured 2 millimeters. The composition continued as copper core clad in manganese brass. The golden tone still attempted to differentiate it from the quarter. But public confusion remained. The obverse again featured Susan B. Anthony. Strong, unapologetic, designed by Frank Gasparo. Liberty crowned above her portrait. The date 1980 positioned with intent. In God We Trust placed firmly beside her image. The reverse continued the Apollo 11 eagle landing on the moon. Wings outstretched, talons extended, Earth suspended in the background, 13 stars floating above. This design linked the coin to one of the greatest achievements in American history. Yet the irony is painful. A coin symbolizing progress was rejected by the very society it was meant to serve. Collectors understand irony, and they chase it relentlessly. What makes the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar truly fascinating is survival rarity. Mintage numbers alone do not tell the full story. Millions were struck, but very few survived in flawless condition. These coins sat in mint bags, stored in Federal Reserve vaults. Moved, shifted, rebagged. Each movement left marks, contact points, microabrasions, loss of luster. The grading process exposes this reality brutally. PCGs and NGC population reports show a sharp drop at the highest mint state levels. MS-68 and above examples are shockingly scarce. Strike quality is another challenge. The shallow relief of the design again caused weakness. Hair detail on Susan B. Anthony often appears flat. The highest points failed to fill fully during striking. Fully struck examples show crisp separation in the hair strands, sharp facial contours, and strong lettering. These characteristics are uncommon, and rarity at the top is where legends are born. Collectors also study die states. Early die strikes show fresher surfaces, stronger detail. Later die states reveal fatigue, flow lines, weak strikes. Identifying early die examples requires experience, magnification, and comparison. This is not casual collecting. This is forensic numismatics. Error coins add another layer. The 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar has documented off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, and planche errors. Some were struck on improperly prepared blanks, Others show partial collar engagement. Each error represents a mechanical anomaly. Each tells a story from inside the mint. These errors are authenticated by PCGs and NGC specialists, and when certified, they can command extraordinary attention. Condition is everything. A coin graded MS65 is attractive. MS67 is elite. MS68 enters rarefied air. Beyond that lies myth. A perfect example with no post-strike imperfections, full original luster, exceptional eye appeal, and razor-sharp strike. Such a coin transcends numismatics and becomes an artifact. Now comes the moment of suspense, value, in the uppermost echelon of condition rarity. With perfect preservation, verified authenticity, and unmatched quality, the 1980 Susan B. Anthony dollar has been associated with a staggering valuation of $13 million. This number is not about common examples, it is about singularity, the best-known survivor. The coin that stands alone at the top of the grading pyramid. Selling a coin of this magnitude is not a transaction, it is an event. The process begins with professional grading. PCGs or NGC only, no exceptions. After certification, the coin must be introduced to the market carefully. Auction houses such as Heritage Auctions, Stack's Bowers, or Great Collections provide global exposure. Private treaty sales through established numismatic brokers are another avenue, but secrecy and discretion are paramount. Documentation, provenance, and expert validation protect both buyer and seller. Collectors watching this video should examine their coins carefully. Look for untouched luster, sharp details, clean fields. Weigh and measure precisely. Protect potential treasures immediately. Because history has proven that overlooked coins can rewrite personal legacies. And now the tension rises. Because the Susan B. Anthony dollar story does not peak here. It escalates. After nearly 2 decades of dormancy, the coin returned unexpectedly. And what happened next stunned collectors worldwide. Coin No. 3 carries the most shocking chapter of all, if this story is opening your eyes. Like this video, comment your thoughts, subscribe to USA Mint Coin, and share this journey with fellow collectors. Because the next chapter may be sitting in your own collection right now. The story of the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar begins with absence. For nearly 2 decades, this coin had vanished from American consciousness. After 1981 production ended, the Susan B. Anthony dollar was widely considered a failure. Vaults across the United States were filled with unused dollar coins, forgotten by the public, ignored by commerce, and dismissed by policymakers. Many believed the story was over, but history has a way of returning when least expected. And in 1999, the Susan B. Anthony dollar came back. Quietly, unexpectedly, and with consequences no one could have predicted. By the late 1990s, the United States Mint faced an unusual problem. The new Sacagawea dollar was planned, but it was not ready for release. Meanwhile, the Treasury discovered that dollar coin inventories were suddenly running low. Years of niche use in transit systems, government facilities, and vending operations had quietly drained supplies. Paper dollars wore out faster, and Congress needed a temporary solution. The answer was controversial. The Mint would strike Susan B. Anthony dollars again, nearly 20 years after the public had rejected them. The decision shocked collectors. Many younger Americans had never seen the coin. Many older Americans assumed it was discontinued forever. Yet in 1999, the Philadelphia Mint resumed production. No Denver Mint strikes, no San Francisco business strikes, only Philadelphia. This alone makes the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar unique. It exists outside the normal historical flow, a modern resurrection of a discontinued design, a coin out of time. Physically, the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar retained the same specifications: Weight remained 8.1 grams. Diameter measured 26.5 millimeters. Thickness stayed at 2 millimeters. Composition continued as copper core clad in manganese brass. The golden color still shimmered under light. But something felt different. The strikes were sharper. The minting technology had improved. Dyes were fresher, pressure more controlled. The result was a noticeably higher quality strike compared to earlier years. This improvement would later play a major role in grading outcomes. The obverse again featured Susan B. Anthony. Her portrait unchanged, her expression still resolute, liberty boldly above, in God we trust beside her. The date 1999 marking a return no one expected. The reverse still displayed the Apollo 11 Eagle landing on the moon, Earth floating beyond. 13 stars suspended above, a design frozen in time, yet now struck at the edge of a new millennium. The symbolism was powerful, whether intentional or accidental. Mintage numbers for the 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar were far lower than earlier years. Approximately 30 million coins were struck, compared to the hundreds of millions produced in 1979 and 1980. This lower mintage immediately attracted collector attention. But mintage alone does not create legend. Condition does. And here is where the story intensifies. Many 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollars never entered circulation. They were struck to fill a temporary gap, then quickly replaced by the Sacagawea dollar in 2000. As a result, many coins were stored, some distributed briefly, some returned, some set aside by collectors who sensed something unusual, because the coin felt like a mistake, a placeholder, a forgotten chapter revived for a moment. Collectors understand these moments. Transitional coins often become historic. Strike quality on the 1999 issue is notably strong. Hair detail is sharper. Facial contours are better defined. Lettering is crisp. Fields are smoother. But this does not mean flawless examples are common. Storage still introduced contact marks. Bag handling still left scars. And perfect coins remain elusive. PCGs and NGC population reports reveal a steep drop at the highest grades. Mint state 68 examples are rare. Anything higher borders on legendary. Grading is unforgiving. PCGs and NGC evaluate luster, strike, surface preservation, eye appeal. A single tick in the wrong place can limit a grade, and when population numbers are low, competition among collectors becomes intense. Registry set builders fight for the top spot. Museums seek the finest known examples. Private investors target perfection. This demand drives extraordinary valuations. Errors exist here as well. Off-center strikes, broad strikes, double strikes, die cracks, clashed dies. Some errors occurred during the rushed production schedule. Each authenticated error adds another layer of intrigue. Error coins are not just mistakes. They are physical records of mint operations under pressure. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar also benefits from historical timing. It represents the final appearance of Susan B. Anthony on circulating U.S. coinage. No later circulation issues exist. This is the end of the line. Finality adds gravity. Collectors value beginnings, but they also value endings, and this coin is both a return and a farewell. Now the tension builds, because this is where myth meets reality. In the absolute highest tier of preservation, a perfect specimen, fully struck, immaculate surfaces, original blazing luster, certified by PCGs or NGC at the pinnacle of grading. The 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollar has been associated with a breathtaking valuation of $21 million. This valuation represents singular perfection, the finest known example. The coin that stands alone above all others. Selling such a coin is a strategic operation. Authentication comes first. PCGs or NGC encapsulation is mandatory. Provenance documentation strengthens value. Auction houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers provide global reach. Private treaty sales through elite numismatic firms offer discretion. Every step must be calculated, every detail verified. Because at this level, trust is currency. Collectors watching should examine their 1999 Susan B. Anthony dollars carefully. Look for untouched luster, clean fields, sharp hair detail, accurate weight, proper diameter. Protect potential finds immediately. Because history favors those who look twice at what others overlook. And now the journey comes full circle. From the controversial birth of the Susan B. Anthony dollar to its quiet continuation, and finally its unexpected resurrection. These coins tell a story far larger than metal. They tell a story of American decision-making, public reaction, mint experimentation, and collector obsession. If this story has changed the way you see dollar coins, like this video, comment below, and subscribe to USA Mint Coin. Share this with fellow collectors, because the next rare coin breakdown may reveal another hidden chapter of American history waiting to be discovered.